Act 2. An echo of the past. The sphere felt warm in Aurelio's hands, its vibrations resonating in sync with the rhythm of his heartbeat. As Iris withdrew, he was left alone with the pulsating relic, its soft glow illuminating the dim room. A sense of foreboding gnawed at him, but he pushed the feeling aside, choosing to focus on the mesmerizing light show unfolding before his eyes. It was said that the orb of aeons contained the echoes of every moment that had ever transpired within the walls of Xana. And now, as its a chosen keeper, Aurelio held the city's past, its present, and yet unseen threads of its future in the palm of its hand. Silently, he observed the orb, his fingertips lightly brushing against the intricate etchings. He could feel the ancient wisdom humming beneath the surface, ready to reveal its secrets to him. Little did he know that this seemingly simple act would trigger a chain of events that would change everything he had ever known. The moment his fingers came in contact with the relic, he felt a rush of energy coursing through his veins, his vision blurred, his mind was swept up in a maelstrom of images and emotions. The rush was so intense, so overwhelming that it sent him reeling. As the room around him faded, the orb held him in its sway, pulling him deeper into its depth. The echo of the past had indeed spoken, and it had a lot more to say. As the tapestry of time unfurled before Aurelio, he witnessed the dawn of Xana in its raw, nascent beauty. Vast fields of iridescent flora pulsating with life stretched out beneath a sky bathed in ethereal hues. Creatures of unimaginable form danced and twirled, their bodies shimmering under the luminescence of Xana's dual suns. In his mind's eye, Aurelio saw the rise of Xana's first civilization, the Zephyrites. They were beings of sublime grace, their transparent bodies resembling sentient rivers that flowed and merged, forming intricate patterns. He saw them carve homes out of floating islands and harness the power of the suns to birth dazzling light creatures. He saw love and conflict, growth and decay, and the unending cycle of life and death. The images then morphed, showing the arrival of the Machina, a race of sentient machines from a distant star. The clash of civilizations was inevitable, yet it was not war, but a peaceful exchange of knowledge and culture that defined their coexistence. With every scene, the orb of aeons whispered to Aurelio, his voice an echo of 1,000 pasts. Every vision, every echo, shaped his understanding of the world he lived in and his place within its grand narrative. But the most haunting vision was yet to come. There was a darkness, an entity that loomed at the edges of his perception. Its presence was an ominous shadow, its intentions shrouded in mystery. As its form solidified, Aurelio felt an icy chill creeping down his spine. Fear gnawed at his heart, yet he was compelled to probe deeper to understand this dark enigma that seemed intrinsically linked to his destiny. The entity within Aurelio's vision, a dark silhouette, remained inscrutable. It was like looking at a shadow in the darkest of nights, its form constantly shifting and unfathomable. Yet Aurelio could not shake the feeling of an impending doom. He could feel its icy tendrils spreading through the fabric of time, touching upon epochs, civilizations, and cosmic events. As elusive as it was, the entity had an ominous allure, drawing him closer into its gravity. The orb of aeons was more than a mere artifact. It was a conduit, a guide, a mentor. It taught Aurelio to look beyond the evident, to question and seek answers. The boy found himself spending hours, sometimes even days, in the silent company of the orb, his young mind thirsty for knowledge and understanding. During one such instance, a torrent of vivid images engulfed Aurelio. He saw a giant tree, its roots reaching into the heart of Xana and branches stretching towards the cosmos. Nestled among its leaves were luminous orbs, their glow akin to 100 suns. The vision was breathtaking, but what truly intrigued Aurelio was the sense of profound serenity it imbued. Simultaneously, he was presented with an image of a labyrinth. Its walls, crafted from a pulsating iridescent energy, in its center stood a grand throne, seemingly sculpted out of an obsidian gem. The throne was empty, but Aurelio could feel an unseen gaze watching, waiting. The visions danced away as swiftly as they came, leaving the boy with more questions than answers. There was a story being told, a narrative that the Orb of Aeons was unraveling for him. It was an enigma waiting to be solved, a jigsaw of time that only he could piece together. In his heart, Aurelio knew he had been chosen for something great, something that transcended the known and ventured into the realm of the extraordinary. The echo of the past was indeed a powerful call, one that he was ready to answer. Over the subsequent weeks, Aurelio became more attuned to the Orb of Aeons. It sang to him in a language of visions and symbols, one that defied logic but resonated with the core of his being. Each day brought with it a cascade of new, mystifying insight, and Aurelio found himself at the helm of a voyage that pierced the veils of time itself. One evening, as the sun lowered its flaming head beneath the horizon of Xana, Aurelio sat quietly with the orb, his mind open and receptive. Without warning, the sphere pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. This pulse quickened, and a gale of images flooded Aurelio's consciousness, replacing the dim twilight around him with the brilliance of an ancient day. He saw a sprawling city, edged with white marble, its tall spires reaching for the skies, reflecting the light from twin suns. Within this city, beings of different shapes, some humanoid, some more alien, coexisted in harmony. This was a society built not on dominance but on a collective wisdom and mutual respect. His vision shifted, and Aurelio found himself in a vast library, its shelves laden with books of knowledge. Each tome held the history of a civilization, the dreams of a race, or the philosophy of a sentient mind. Yet this was not a library in the conventional sense. Instead of paper and ink, the information was stored in multidimensional forms, accessible to those who knew the way to perceive it. The pulse of the orb slowed, and with a gentle nudge, the vision faded. Aurelio found himself back on Xana, the fading rays of the setting sun painting the landscape in hues of orange and red. His mind was buzzing with the lingering echoes of the past, of an era where knowledge and understanding were the pillars of existence. Yet the peaceful memories were tainted by a lurking dread. The silhouette that had first appeared in his visions had remained a constant, its icy touch leaving a trail of cold dread in Aurelio's heart. Whatever it was, Aurelio knew that it was somehow tied to his destiny, to his journey of unearthing the concealed truths of Xana. He wasn't sure how, but he was certain that the answers lay somewhere within the orb's labyrinth of memories and prophecies. Emboldened by the orb's visions, Aurelio ventured to the outskirts of his settlement, a place where the whispering leaves told tales of forgotten epochs and the wind sung ancient lullabies. The artifacts of the ancients were strewn around the place, silent reminders of the era long gone. One such relic caught Aurelio's attention, a colossal stone monolith, half concealed by the encroaching vegetation, adorned with etchings similar to those on the orb. As he approached, the orb pulsed vigorously in his hand, its energy resonating with the monolith. The air around him seemed to hum, vibrating with an intensity that was almost palpable. Aurelio, heart pounding in his chest, placed the orb against the monolith. The etchings on both the artifacts started to glow with a radiant light. Illuminating the twilight with a surge of energy, the stone structure began to shift and transform. The landscape around Aurelio undulated, the ground beneath him reshaping, reforming, revealing a hidden stairway leading down into the heart of Xana. With a courage forged from the echoes of the past, Aurelio descended the stairway. The steps hewn from the very bedrock of Xana echoed under his footfalls. Ancient air, heavy with the weight of time, filled his lungs as he delved deeper. The stairway ended in a large cavernous chamber, illuminated by an ethereal, otherworldly glow. The chamber was filled with artifacts similar to the orb of aeons. Each pulsating with its unique rhythm, it was a symphony of the past, a melody of time, reverberating through the very core of Xana. Yet, amid the hum of ancient technology and the quiet breath of Xana, the familiar silhouette from Aurelio's vision appeared again. Its presence more real than ever, it seemed to be watching him, gauging his reactions, adding an icy chill to the already cool air. Aurelio knew then, more than ever, that his journey had truly begun. Gaining his composure, Aurelio moved further into the depths of the cavernous chamber. Shadows played tricks on his senses, creating eerie patterns on the walls, while echoes from unseen corners hinted at a labyrinthine architecture beneath Xana's surface. Yet it wasn't the enchanting play of light and dark, nor the mystifying structure of the ancient underground that kept his heart pounding in his chest. It was the tantalizing secret each artifact promised, each pulsing with stories from the dawn of time. Approaching an artifact that seemed almost identical to his orb, Aurelio extended his hand. As his fingers traced the grooves of the relic, a kaleidoscope of visions erupted in his mind. An ancient cityscape, grand and alien, appeared before him. White marble towers soared to the skies, intricately carved with scenes of cosmic ballet. Alien creatures, graceful and ethereal, moved about with a grace that bespoke a harmony with the universe. Suddenly, the vision shifted, showing the city in ruins, its magnificent towers crumbled and its inhabitants gone. A sense of overwhelming grief gripped Aurelio, a mourning for the lost world that once flourished beneath Xana's skies. Yet amid the ruins, a beacon of hope flickered. A creature, resilient and enduring, seemed to carry a sphere similar to his orb of aeons, walking away from the devastation, promising a resurgence. This cascade of visions halted abruptly as Aurelio removed his hand, leaving him alone in the spectral light of the ancient chamber. Overwhelmed by the magnitude of what he had witnessed, Aurelio realized the orb was more than just a vessel of ancient knowledge. It was a torch passed down from the dawn of Xana, a beacon of resilience and continuity. His fingers curled tighter around the orb, his resolve hardened, driven by the echoes of the past and the promise of a future he was destined to shape. Heart ablaze with determination, Aurelio knew he could not keep these revelations to himself. The implications were too vast, too significant to the community that had raised him. Venturing out of the subterranean expanse, he emerged into the daylight, his spirit humming with the echoes of the past. Iris waited for him in the humble abode, its meager structure a stark contrast to the grandeur that Aurelio had just witnessed. She had a knowing smile on her weathered face, as if she sensed the weight of the ancient knowledge now contained within Aurelio. "I've seen it," he began, his voice barely a whisper, burdened by the enormity of his discovery. A city, a lost civilization that lived beneath Xana's skies. The seer's eyes, age-old reservoirs of wisdom, held his gaze, unblinking. "And so, the Orb of Aeons speaks to you, Aurelio. It carries the testament of ages long gone, of civilizations that rose and fell. It is a mantle of responsibility you now bear. To understand it is to know our roots, our shared history, and possibly the path to our future." Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Aurelio dedicated his time to understanding the orb, translating the alien symbols, and interpreting the myriad of visions it presented. The secrets of the Orb of Aeons, like the petals of a cosmic lotus, slowly began to unfold. Aurelio learned of the rise and fall of the ancient civilizations, the catastrophe that led to their downfall, and their resilience to preserve their knowledge for further generations through the orb. His heart heavy with the echoes of the past, Aurelio also sensed an undeniable resonance with the present. The echoes were not just of ancient tragedies, they held lessons, warnings, and hope. They suggested that the cycle of rise and fall, creation and destruction, was perhaps intrinsic to the existence of life on Xana, and maybe, just maybe, it held clues to avert an impending disaster that the present could not yet perceive. Aurelio, understanding the gravity of his findings, decided to share his knowledge with the elders of the community. Yet as he brought forth his discoveries, he was met with a wave of skepticism and disbelief. The past should remain in the past, Elder Amadeus insisted, his wrinkled countenance cast in deep shadow. There is nothing there but lost glory and ancient sorrows. We must focus on the present, Aurelio. Frustrated by the dismissive reaction of his community's leaders, Aurelio decided to undertake the quest alone. He found solace in the quiet tranquility of his father's old workshop, pouring himself into deciphering the inscriptions on the Orb of Aeons. Each glyph, each symbol unveiled a tale from an era lost into the sand tides of time. One narrative that particularly resonated with Aurelio was that of the ancient Dreamweavers. They were a sect of ancient civilizations that harnessed the energies of the cosmos to manipulate reality, painting dreams into existence and sculpting nightmares into oblivion. Their arcane power seemed to draw from a similar source as the Orb of Aeons. This revelation raised new questions, and Aurelio's curiosity urged him to probe further. The Orb of Aeons was more than just a messenger from the past. It was a guide, a key to unlocking the latent power within him. As Aurelio delved deeper into the teachings of the ancient Dreamweavers, he began to notice changes within himself. His dreams became vivid, tangible, pulsating with surreal energy that mirrored that of the orb. His perception of reality began to waver, taking on a fluid, dreamlike quality. Even as the world around him turned a blind eye, Aurelio knew that the echoes of the past held the key to shaping the present and sculpting the future. Ignoring the skepticism from his community, Aurelio decided to walk this path alone, guided by the Orb of Aeons and the whispers of the ancient Dreamweavers. His journey into the heart of Xana's concealed truths had only just begun. Time began to dissolve for Aurelio. Days blended into nights, and nights dissolved into days as he attuned himself with the orb of aeons. His reality became malleable, more susceptible to the subtle undulations of thought and intention. Aurelio felt himself peering past the veil of the mundane and stepping into the echelons of the arcane. The orb revealed the forgotten paths of Xana, walkways hidden in the fabric of reality, silent and unused for eons. As he walked these paths, Aurelio discovered fragments of long-lost knowledge, shattered pieces of a once glorious civilization echoing with potent energies. As he explored these pathways, Aurelio's comprehension of Xana's history deepened. He felt a profound connection to these remnants of the past, these once great architects and custodians of the world. Aurelio found his dreams infused with a cryptic language, a code passed down from the ancient dreamweavers. Through countless hours spent poring over the glyphs adorning the orb, Aurelio deciphered the enigmatic language. He realized the Dreamweavers hadn't just used the cosmic energies to shape their reality, but to communicate and learn from the cosmos itself. He found himself immersed in a stream of cosmic consciousness, the celestial fabric woven from stars, nebulae, and cosmic winds animated by the minds of the Dreamweavers. These cosmic dialogues filled him with awe and deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. This deeper understanding revealed an unbreakable bond between him, the orb, and the universe around him. The Orb of Aeons was not only an echo of the past, but also a connection to the universal consciousness, a bridge between the terrestrial and the celestial. Aurelio felt himself transforming, the teachings of the past awakening a dormant power within him. The world began to shift around him, the unseen becoming visible, the impossible becoming probable. Aurelio knew he was just scratching the surface of his potential, his destiny intertwined with the echoes of the past. With renewed determination, he continued his journey, undeterred by the disbelief of others, fueled by the visions granted by the Orb of Aeons. His search for understanding led him further into the labyrinth of Xana's ancient mysteries. The echoes of the past continued to reverberate, guiding him closer to the heart of Xana's concealed truths. Time became a sequence of interwoven tales for Aurelio. Each second spent with the orb pulled another thread of the past into his present, unraveling the tapestry of forgotten eras. With every thread he followed, Aurelio ventured deeper into the labyrinth of the past. As he explored these complex corridors of memory, he found himself in spaces not constrained by the linear flow of time, where the past, present, and potential futures danced in the whirlwind of cosmic harmony. He uncovered tales of ancient dreamweavers, who crafted stars from their thoughts and forced galaxies from their dreams. He discovered the lore of cosmic behemoths, ethereal entities that roamed the cosmos, their bodies brimming with celestial magic, and he discerned the whispers of a dark force, an encroaching oblivion that gnawed at the fringes of existence. Navigating through these echoes, Aurelio's understanding of his heritage deepened. He learned of his lineage descending from the vulnerable Dreamweavers and his inherited duty to safeguard the balance of existence. A pang of melancholy clouded his heart, knowing that the thriving civilization and vibrant cosmic entities he'd learned of were now just whispers in the wind. Yet this melancholy was tempered by a sense of purpose, an acknowledgement that he was a vital thread in the grand tapestry of existence. To aid him, the Orb of Aeons taught him to shape the raw energy of the universe, to mold it into forms as diverse as the tales it echoes. The young Dreamweaver began to master the arcane arts of his ancestors, finding harmony in his newfound powers. Each experience honed his abilities, turning him into a beacon of hope against the lurking darkness. As his 13th year waned, Aurelio stood on the precipice of his destiny, transformed and enlightened The echoes of the past had shaped his present, revealing a path bathed in the ethereal glow of cosmic understanding. The tale of Aurelio, the young dreamweaver, was unfolding. The heart of Xana and its concealed truths waited to be unveiled.